everybody, I hope everyone is doing well today. So we have quite a bit to do, so I would like to go ahead and just get started. Keep in mind that the final draft of the mapping essay was due on Tuesday by midnight, so if you have not handed those in already, please be sure to send and share that to me through Google Docs by typing in my email address with the share button, which is usually in the upper right hand corner here, and then you click on share and type in my email, and that will send the link of your final draft of your mapping essay if you have not already. But anyway, we're pretty much have to keep rolling here because we only have a couple weeks left officially. So today what we're doing is talking about the research positions paper. Last class we talked about the guidelines. I talked about how to draft the thesis statement and your introduction. So pretty much we're going to move along with that today, and we're going to talk about how to draft your body paragraphs, which is your supporting reasons, and also the rebuttal, which is actually in the sample paper that I showed you when talking about the guidelines. So we're going to talk about how to draft that as well. So that is pretty much what we're doing. So what I'm assigning for homework this week is to continue drafting. So continue drafting your body paragraphs, your conclusion, and the rebuttal section of the paper. So here is our lesson today. So I would like to go ahead and get started with that. I sort of have had to do 2 lessons in one today just because that is the time frame that we sort of have right now. So this section of the lesson is about how to draft supporting reasons and showing the audience why the claim is valid. But I have included the link to the assignment sheet for everything that you need to know about. This will lead you into the guidelines that I talked about last class. So definitely having this open when working on your rough draft will be very helpful. But I do want to point attention to the link to the sample paper down here. And I want to take a look at that for just a moment. So keep in mind that the research positions paper has an introduction, thesis statement, has probably about 4 or 5 body paragraphs, and then your conclusion. And then there's another section down here. Now this is a separate part of the paper called the rebuttal, and this will be a different separate part of the paper. So I'm going to talk about how the invention for that and how to do that. But what this rebuttal section is a counter argument to your main claim. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. And then keep in mind a works cited page is required. So please make sure that you have a works cited page and in-text citations for your final paper. This is the final countdown, guys, my dear friends. So we have to make sure that we have a works cited page, in-text citations, making sure that you proofread, grammar. Keep in mind that this final research paper is worth the most of your course grade, so paying special attention to drafting and final drafts. This is pretty much our final exam here. This is putting to the test of what you have learned within 1530 over the last 12 weeks that we have spent together. So anyway, that is the end of my little wake-up call here. Yeah, we are officially at 12 weeks, so we only have like 2 to 3 weeks left at the most. So yeah, keeping that in mind, okay? But anyway, I am going back to our lesson here. Like I said, I would definitely recommend taking a look at the sample paper and the guidelines again before diving into this lesson. So now I'm going to talk about how to draft your supporting reasons or your body paragraphs, providing reasons to support your claim or your main thesis statement. So of course, reasons tell us why a claim is valid. Reasons should support the main claim or the thesis statement. Claim and thesis statement are the same thing, for the record. So claim, this is just a sample here. So if I wanted to use the claim, the U.S. government should enact a national mask mandate and seriously fine those who fail to comply. And then the supporting reason, you have to have a supporting reason, otherwise there's just not enough logos to support it. So people will not follow the law unless it is enforced. So the reasons given must appeal to the values of the audience. So how to place reasons within the RPP. So you have to list values of that audience, construct a reason that appeals to those values. So in order to craft reasons, in order to support your claim, you'll need to keep your audience in mind. What lines of reasonings will your audience respond to? What will they care about? So we will be following and exploring the following slides to help you craft at least 3 supporting reasons why your claim is valid. So logos review, how to place reasons in the essay. So constructing a reason that appeals to those values. So let's say I've been working with the topic of euthanasia. Let's say I've decided to make the claim that congressional lawmakers should work to pass legislation that allows physician-assisted death. So of course you need to think about the values of those lawmakers. Keep in mind that for the RPP, you are picking the audience that you are appealing to. So really that comes from you, but you also have to have supporting reasons and enough logos, and you are responsible for maintaining your own logos, ethos, and pathos throughout this entire paper. So some sample values of lawmakers might be the legal precedent, the Constitution, thinking about legal rights, and due process. So I need a reason that appeals to these values of this specific audience. Doctors have a right to treat their patients as they see fit, and that appeals to the value of legal rights. So thinking about that a little bit further, taking it a step further. So your position here, congressional lawmakers should work to pass legislation that allows physician-assisted death because doctors have a right to treat their patients as they see fit. So working from there, we will work to prove these reasons within this lesson. So you want to begin your body paragraph by stating your reason in the topic sentence, the first 1 or 2 in the paragraph, and next explain your reason fully in 5 to 7 sentences about help from an outside audience and also from one of your sources if need be. So you will need to explain your reason by explaining how it is logical by showing that there are no exceptions to that logic. And then explaining how it is logical by showing there are no exceptions to that logic. After you make these rhetorical moves, you are ready to put quotations in your body paragraph that proves your reason is true. And then you may want to start a new body paragraph at that time. So you will describe your reason within your essay. So this is the sample body paragraph from the thesis we were just talking about. So lawmakers will need to pass legislation on euthanasia because doctors have the right to decide what treatments they should be able to give patients. That is their topic sentence there. And then their supporting reasons are in the following sentences in green here. So it is clear that the relationship between doctors and patients is personal and should be respected. There are some rights that we would not want doctors to have, such as freely prescribing pills. Obviously, we will need to trust doctors to make the best judgments when it comes to their patients. Medical care practitioners understand that pills are not effective and do not provide a quality of life for a terminally ill patient. Remember, it is a patient's choice to make a decision on assisted suicide. Patients are choosing not to continue to take opiates. More supporting details would come in here. So after you make those moves, you are ready to put direct quotations from your source to support that reason. So what it looks like to present reasons in a draft. So an example claim here is the government should sign the Basel Convention Treaty as well as build reliable e-waste recycling facilities. So the values of the audience, and the chosen audience here is the government. And the values of that audience is family, safety, development, and awareness. So taking that a step further, the world today, and this is their topic sentence here, the world today is all about finding new ways to develop new products. Right now, the knowledge of ways to recycle e-waste is small. The US has sent e-waste to developing countries and has never really tried to build recycling facilities. Although if we start recycling in the US and stop sending the waste to developing countries, we might be able to come up with a way to recycle easier, faster, and in a safer way. If we recycle the waste we don't have to make so many new parts and pay money for resources to make parts, more money means that we can use the money earned for other needs in the world. So the student lists the reason in the topic sentence here, and then describes the reason so the audience understands it. And then they list the second reason in the topic sentence as well. And they develop their reasons from there. And then in their next body paragraph, they list the third reason and then in the paragraph. So anyway, what we really want to do from here is to continue writing your body paragraphs. So hopefully you all have your introduction and thesis statement already done. That was for writing lab 3, so we are moving on to writing lab 4. But you are welcome to use the same rough draft and the same document. In fact, I would probably encourage you to just start writing and continue writing from the writing lab that we already have, and constructing 3 reasons that appeal to those values. So what we are doing now is drafting our body paragraphs. Continue the draft of your essay by crafting and describing 3 reasons. And these will be the body paragraphs of your essay. Now, what I want to talk about next is how to draft the rebuttal of your essay. And it was that separate part of that sample paper that I was talking about. That is the rebuttal, and that will come after your conclusion before your works cited page. So in a nutshell, what is this rebuttal about? What is it? So the claim and thesis is action plus audience. So you'll need 3 reasons and a rebuttal to support your claim. So what we want to think about next, and this is part of the counterclaim here, why your claim is valid, prove it with evidence, and we'll do that with the 3 reasons. These are within your body paragraphs. And this is the separate part of the paper for the rebuttal, and this will make 4 separate moves. So like I said, you need 3 total reasons and a rebuttal. So reasons belong in topic sentences. Topic sentences are the first few sentences of any given paragraph, or typically the first sentence of that body paragraph. Now the rebuttal is a counter argument. Now that you've made a strong claim, supported your claim with reasoning, and proved evidence for credibility, and that's talking about the body paragraphs here, it is time to anticipate what others may say against that argument. So there are 4 total moves to make for an effective rebuttal. And there's a little video here from YouTube that I would like people to watch. So it will take you directly to that link and you can watch it from there. So there are 4 total moves to make for an effective rebuttal. So what you want to think about here is fully describing, naming, and acknowledging the naysayer, outlining their position accurately and fairly, become an insider by agreeing or making concessions, and how are they wrong? How might they benefit from seeing your argument your way? So let's say I've picked climate change as the topic and I'm making this claim. New York should ban plastic bags and straws. So fully describe, name, and acknowledge the naysayer. So I need to locate a group or a discourse community. Who will disagree with me? Those people will be my opponents, and those people are my naysayers. So restaurant owners are a major player. Restaurant owners will disagree, and restaurant owners will become my naysayer. So here's an example. I will need to describe what they claim and why. They do not think straws should be banned. They reason that banning straws would cost them financially. I know this because we explored that within the mapping essay. So I will need to agree with them. I will need to make a concession. This means I will need to acknowledge their position in a respectful and fair way. It is true that banning straws will cost business more. Even though I know that banning straws will cost restaurant owners more, I need to show them my argument is still the best. I need to show them the cost won't matter. I need to address their points. So here's an example of how the student might approach their rebuttal, or at least a sample paragraph here. So the state of New York should ban plastic straws in all restaurants and stores. That would be the sample claim here. So restaurant owners are likely to disagree that banning straws would help protect the environment. Obviously, restaurant owners have a certain stake in this debate. Because they value sales and profits, their business will be majorly affected by this change. These people are mostly claiming that the ban on straws will be a financial burden on their businesses, especially for very small ones. So that is the topic sense there and the reasons listed. It is highly likely that paper straws and bags will cost small businesses more money. I come from a working class family. The main concern and focus is on pricing when the bottom line matters. And then they start pulling from that group that disagrees with them. What these people are missing, however, is that we live in an interconnected world. The trash one person in Africa dumps can end up on the US coast, threatening sea life. In fact, NPR correspondent Chris Thatcher recently reported incidents of sea turtles with hardened plastic straws in their noses, and coral reefs have been dying. So what they do from there is pulling directly from that source. So this is a good start because this rebuttal names a naysayer. I describe who they are and their values, and you can see that I note their claims. But it still makes a concession. I agree with the naysayer and show them that I am an insider. I am like them. And there's also a supporting quotation sandwich, and we have talked about quotation sandwiches already. So here's another example about abortion, about reproductive rights. Conservative Republicans will need to better understand the nuances of a woman's right to choose and stop restricting the decisions of our Supreme Court in order to preserve the health and safety of women in the U.S. So here's another example. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but here's an example about a rebuttal about abortion and reproductive rights. Here's another one about computer hacking. Here's another one about animal testing. So you're welcome to read through these examples. So what we want to think about now is once you have your body paragraphs and your conclusion and your draft done, what you want to do is move on to the rebuttal section. And this will be the next part of our draft here. So you want to make sure that you finish up your introduction, your thesis statement, your body paragraphs, your conclusion, and then move on to the rebuttal section of the paper. So make the 4 moves of a good rebuttal. Put those moves in your RPP draft and make sure to share the draft with me and send it to my email. Anyway, that is it for today. But if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me during office hours. I think I have office hours on Friday from 3 to 5. I don't think I have any booked appointments yet, So if you want to stop in and get some extra help, that is the best way to do so. Or you can always stop in and stop into the Learning Center if that interests you. You can always email the Learning Center if you would like extra help from a writing tutor. They are more than happy to do so. Anyway, that is it for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. But otherwise, I hope you all have a great day and a great evening. All right, thank you all. Bye, everybody.